Hello, I'm Christina Booth from Magenta and the She production, Camora, and you're watching liveprog.
Hello there, welcome to liveprog. I am your host Marcel Haster. You know, I've been reviewing for about 10 years now and I gotta say I absolutely enjoy it. But one of the things I find a bit challenging, especially with my video reviews, and especially if you look at the number of albums that are being released almost every month, you have to make choices. So I see it as my job to pick out those gems, those albums that I think are definitely worth to be reviewed, worth to be given a little more attention, just in case you haven't heard of them already. Well, I have one such gem for you. This one, Panic Room, Skin. Initially, I was doubting whether or not I would review this album. It had a little bit to do, of course, with my personal taste in music. Because yes, I have a personal taste. I'm not just, here to just bring you every album I get. No, I make a selection. It has to do with the background history of Panic Room. 4 members of this band used to be in another band called Karnataka. And Karnataka is a bit in the same league as, for example, Mostly Autumn. Although I think they are bands that make beautiful music, they never made a real click with me, so I'm not really a big fan, I know they're good musicians, I know they're good music, so I was a little bit worried because, am I going to like this album? Will I be able to say something about this album? But, as I always do, I at least listen to every album that is sent to me for review. So I listened to it, and I gotta say I found a few elements in this music that made me listen more. And I started listening more and more. I still had a problem, what am I gonna say about this album? Because there are albums that make really big waves, that have a real huge impact, that really are there. And this album didn't have that impact on me. So I was a bit worried, but I just decided, I'm gonna keep on listening until I have that moment where I say, yes, now I'm going to do the review, or sorry, I'm not gonna do it. Now here we are, I am bringing you the review of this album. So it means I have found a couple of things to tell you about this album. Some things why you should listen to this album, why this album is really very beautiful. The first thing that really attracted my attention were the vocals. Anne-Marie Helder. I gotta be honest, I think her vocals are one of the main reasons I like this album, because she sings like an angel. Wow, she has such an incredible voice. It's real heavenly, and that was like, wow, I gotta listen more, because there gotta be more. And along the way, I discovered that this album is absolutely a diamond in the rough. When you, at least, when you first hear it or first see it, you might say, oh, okay, nice, interesting. Don't give any more attention to it. But when you start listening to this album and then you start scraping off the outside and you come to the beautiful inside, you polish it a little bit more, and then you see what a real diamond this album is. Not just the vocals. Anne-Marie Helder's vocals are really stunning, really beautiful. As I mentioned, she sings like an angel, but also the music. And there we come to, I think, a few keywords that describe the atmosphere you find on this album. I mentioned the big waves, you don't find them here. Subtlety, intimate, that is more accurate to describe the music on Skin. A little side note here, Skin is the 3rd album by Panic Room, and it's the first one I hear, so I am absolutely not familiar with the previous 2 albums, so I cannot say anything about it. I'm judging the band based purely on their new album Skin. Well then, when you have these 3 acoustic guitar players in the band, that is safe to say that is a guarantee for a real intimate, soft atmosphere. And that is something I really enjoy about this album, that atmosphere. At the same time, you have this whole idea, you know, is it a prog album, yes or no? Well, you get that a lot, but I find that the border between prog and other genres is watering down a little bit, is fading a little bit, you know. It's not as sharp anymore, because when you listen to this album, it does have that familiar prog sound, that familiar prog feel to it, but at the same time is very accessible to people who have no idea what prog is. I mean, if you would play this in front of people who don't like prog, who just listen to pop music, I'm sure they will really enjoy this music, because I think this band is a little like the Dutch band Kayak, you know. They're poppy, but yet they're still proggy. And you find the same thing here. But again, you know, labels are irrelevant to musicians. The music is what counts, and the music here is very beautiful. We had the vocals, we had the acoustic guitars, the keyboards, Jonathan Edwards, a lot of piano as well. It blends beautifully through the music, and sometimes it's more up front, but often it's more in the background, very subtle, you don't hear it. Sometimes you just hear this nice synth lead, or you hear this nice piano part, and together this band builds up these beautiful songs. Despite the fact that it's not a heavy album, the band has a very strong and very good rhythm section. On drums, Gavin John Griffiths, and on bass, Yatim Halimi. I gotta say, they lay down a real nice backbone to the songs, and despite the fact that it's not heavy music, the band definitely knows how to rock, because when I was listening to the albums, one song really stood out for me at the end of the album, Hiding the World. This song really rocks. It's a bit more heavier, you know, with some more electric guitars in it. But at the same time, you know, if I listen to Velvet and Stars, they created a completely different atmosphere, because that one is completely acoustic with really soft vocals by Anne-Marie Helder, and it's a very beautiful song. And I really love the way they bring the songs. They're absolutely well composed, well performed, and you know, this album, in the end, it stands out. Once you've discovered the beauty of the album, you know it stands out among the other music around us, because of its, well, inner beauty, of its beautiful, serene, angelic atmosphere. So, well, I hope I made you curious to this album. If you haven't heard it, you know, you heard some bits and pieces in this review. So all I can say is, you know, if that is the music that you like, then I say check out this album, Panic Room Skin.